Well, turning back to former President Donald Trump's indictment. This morning, New York officials are ramping up security ahead of his possible arraignment Tuesday. Authorities are bracing for protests and big crowds heading into the weekend. So joining us now, just outside of Trump Tower, is Lilia Luciano to talk a little bit more about this. So, Lilia, I mean, these barricades have been up since I think Donald Trump predicted that he was going to be arrested last Tuesday. And, you know, at one point, there was sort of more reporters than there were protesters. But I think people watching around the country are wondering what's going on in New York. Is it safe in New York right now? What are you seeing?
Well, Anne-Marie, you're completely right. I mean, I remember crossing the Brooklyn Bridge, walking and hitting that area where the court is and seeing all of these media trucks and no protesters. And this was last week after the former president said that he was expected to, be arrested last Tuesday. Of course, as time has progressed, well, things have waned, but not in terms of security. We know that on Thursday, yesterday, all NYPD officers, even the ones that work in plain clothes, were ordered to show up in uniform today, ready to deploy. We are seeing these barricades here in Trump Tower. I just passed by the Trump International Hotel. There's also a bunch of patrol cars and police cars and barricades there. The courts, of course, have also been barricaded. They've increased cameras over there in the courts where Bob Costa was this morning. And of course, all officers of NYPD have been told to be just ready in uniform to deploy. The security also extends to major points where tourists would be. I just saw also around the subway stop there was a lot of police presence. And what NYPD told CBS News too was that they had been keeping a low profile. So what we were just discussing, the idea that there weren't protesters yet, precisely to maybe deter protests or counter protests. The more police presence you see, the more you look and you say there's something going on. And so that could have been something that might have attracted more attention. At this point, they're keeping a low profile, but more cameras are going up and presence is certainly there. And as we can see, these barricades.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know about you, but I was caught off guard by the announcement of the indictment yesterday because we'd been told that the grand jury, if they were meeting, they weren't going to be discussing anything related to Trump. Was law enforcement prepared ahead of the announcement?
Yeah, they've been as prepared as they have, as they could. But we have also learned from NYPD, they told CBS News that they were not told that the indictment was coming. So they were also caught by surprise. And that's why yesterday, after the indictment, is when they received, the officers did that notification, or that order rather, that they had to be ready to deploy today. But I think they were caught as off guard as we were. You have to wonder, perhaps if all of that was thought out by the courts, just make sure that things happen in a way that doesn't give a whole lot of heads up. But that said, the former president will be arraigned on Tuesday. When that happens, he'll have to surrender to the criminal court here in Manhattan. He is going to be booked, fingerprinted, photographed. All of the security around it will be provided by the Secret Service, which of course is in charge of keeping the former president safe at all times. And so between now and then, there will be plenty of time. There's a weekend in between for people to organize if they want to show their support or show their the opposite of their support, their disdain for this decision. So we'll definitely be working through the weekend and reporting on stream on CBS Weekend News, because it's New York City, so you can expect that protests can emerge at any given time and anywhere in the city.
So true. Lilia, thank you very much.